One of the things that was revealed in the crisis is that many bankers said to authorities, particularly central bankers, you have to bail us out because we would take the real economy down with us. So they were acknowledging in the tension a spillover. But that spillover exists ex ante as well, or the potential of it. And the question of whether what they call externalities or spillovers is a infrequent phenomena or whether it's potentially pervasive would seemingly have a great deal to do with the regulatory regime that we would want to put in place as preventive medicine.
Well, there clearly are externalities. I mean, one of our core problems is that in finance there is a radical divergence between that which is in the interests privately of shareholders or of highly incentivized managers and that which is socially optimal. The managers and the shareholders will always want banks to be more highly leveraged than is socially optimal, because they are protected against the downside not only by limited liability but also by the realization that even the shareholders may not suffer full loss because there are large costs, externalities when they fail. And this fundamentally is why we have to regulate the capital ratios of banks and I think it is both, have mechanisms whereby we can make that make sure the biggest banks are resolvable in ways that impose losses on debt providers as well as equity providers. The fundamental challenge is, how do we create an environment where there isn't just a free put option onto the taxpayer, but do so in a way which maintains fundamental lending functions to the real economy? And this is a much more tricky challenge in financial institutions than it is in non-financial institutions. In non-financial institutions, we have well-developed processes of putting people into bankruptcy procedures. And what those bankruptcy procedures enable us to do in Chapter 11 and other mechanisms is to say, okay, we'll go off over here and we'll redo the capital structure of the company, while the actual company doing whatever it does can be kept going. And we'll impose losses on debt holders, we'll restructure it, we'll recapitalize it, and it'll keep going. The fundamental problem with banks is you can't separate the concept of the capital structure from the business, because the business of these things is money. The money that they owe to debt holders is part of the core business of it. And that's our challenge. And it does mean that, we have really fundamental things to think about there.